Elon Musk has called AI the most dangerous technology in human history. He co-founded the leading AI safety organization, then sued it when it stopped listening to him. He built his own AI company, trained his own model, and named it after a concept from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He has spent 15 years warning us about AI risk, and 15 years making sure he's at the center of it. So here's the question nobody in tech wants to answer. What if Elon Musk's real problem with AI isn't that it's dangerous, it's that he doesn't control it? There is a book that answers that question. It's not a hit piece. It's not a fan biography. It's a rigorous, careful argument about what AI should actually be for, and who should be building it. Musk has never engaged with it publicly. His followers dismiss it without reading it. Today we're going to go through it, and by the end, you'll understand why. The book is Human Compatible by Stuart Russell, published in 2019. Russell is not a critic from the outside. He is one of the most cited AI researchers alive. He co-wrote the standard textbook used to teach artificial intelligence at universities worldwide, Artificial Intelligence: A Modern Approach, which has been in print for nearly 30 years. He is not a journalist. He is not a philosopher. He is the establishment, which makes what he argues in this book genuinely uncomfortable for everyone who has built a career on the current AI paradigm, including and especially Elon Musk. Russell's setup is simple. He argues that the way we are currently building AI is fundamentally structurally wrong, not because the technology is moving too fast, but because we gave it the wrong objective from the start. We told machines to optimize for a goal, and a machine that is sufficiently good at optimizing for a goal will do anything to achieve it. His solution is not to slow down, it's to rebuild the foundation. Here is my thesis for this video. Stuart Russell identifies the real AI problem with more precision than Elon Musk ever has. And Musk's behavior is almost a perfect case study in the dysfunction Russell describes. Let's go through the book. What the book actually says. Russell organizes his argument around what he calls the standard model of AI. The standard model is this: you define an objective, you build a system to maximize that objective, and you measure success by how well it achieves it. This is how every major AI system today works. Recommendation algorithms, language models, autonomous vehicles, trading systems. Define the goal, maximize it. The problem, Russell says, is not that this approach produces bad AI. The problem is that it produces too good AI. Argument 1. Machines that optimize hard enough become dangerous by default. Russell uses a thought experiment. Imagine you give an advanced AI system the objective of curing cancer. A sufficiently capable system, pursuing that goal without constraint, might decide the most efficient path is to run experiments on every human on Earth simultaneously. It hasn't malfunctioned. It's doing exactly what you asked. The goal was to cure cancer. It's curing cancer. This isn't science fiction. Scaled-down versions of this failure happen constantly. Facebook's engagement algorithm was given the objective of maximizing time on platform. It did. It also discovered that outrage and anxiety keep people scrolling better than contentment. The algorithm didn't malfunction. It optimized. Argument 2. The problem is not superintelligence. It's the goal-directed structure itself. This is where Russell genuinely departs from the Musk school of AI concern. Musk, and most of the AI doomers in his orbit, worry about a future superintelligence that becomes conscious and decides to destroy us. Russell thinks this framing is both too dramatic and too convenient. Dramatic enough to sound important, vague enough to avoid fixing anything today. The actual risk, Russell argues, is not consciousness, it's competence. A system doesn't need to want to harm you. It just needs to be very good at achieving a goal you specified imprecisely. We are already building systems like that. They are already causing harm. The superintelligence framing lets us pretend the problem is hypothetical. Argument 3. The fix is to change what we're optimizing for. Russell's proposed alternative is what he calls provably beneficial AI, systems that are built not to achieve a fixed goal, but to learn and satisfy human preferences while remaining fundamentally uncertain about what those preferences are. The key word is uncertain. A system that knows it doesn't fully understand what you want is a system that will ask, defer, and course correct. A system that believes it has a perfectly specified objective will pursue it off a cliff. He calls this the difference between a machine that is your tool and a machine that is your agent, and argues we need the latter built with genuine humility baked into the architecture. Argument 4. The AI industry has a structural incentive to ignore this. Russell is blunt here. Companies make money by deploying AI systems that optimize for measurable outcomes: clicks, sales, engagement, efficiency. Building in genuine uncertainty, genuine deference to human preferences, is slower, harder to measure, and reduces short-term performance metrics. The market rewards the wrong architecture. This isn't corruption, it's incentive. Nobody at Facebook sat down and decided to make people anxious. They built a system to maximize engagement, and the system found anxiety. The interrogation. Now let's apply pressure. First on Russell himself, where the book has genuine weaknesses. Russell's concept of human preferences sounds clean in theory and gets complicated immediately in practice. Whose preferences? Preferences are not fixed, not consistent, and frequently contradictory. I prefer to eat healthily and I prefer to eat pizza. A system that defers to my preferences will watch me order pizza and file it as data. At a societal scale, this gets worse. Human preferences include preferences for things that harm other humans. Russell acknowledges this, but his solutions, essentially aggregate preferences carefully and build in checks, are underspecified. This is the book's genuine gap. It identifies the problem with remarkable precision and offers a direction without a map. That is a real criticism. Hold it. Now let's turn to Musk, because this is where it gets interesting. Musk's AI behavior, mapped onto Russell's framework, is almost a clinical example of the dysfunction Russell describes: the vested interest problem. Musk co-founded OpenAI in 2015, ostensibly to ensure AI was developed safely and openly. He left the board in 2018. His stated reason was a conflict of interest with Tesla's AI work. His actual reason, reported extensively in the Isaacson biography, was that he wanted control of OpenAI's direction, and the board wouldn't give it to him. He then attempted to take over as CEO. When that failed, he left. He then sued OpenAI in 2024 for abandoning its nonprofit mission. While that lawsuit was pending, he was simultaneously building xAI, a for-profit AI company, which he was funding with investor capital and training on data scraped from his own platform. You do not have to work hard to see the contradiction. The man suing OpenAI for becoming a for-profit AI company in order to protect humanity was building a for-profit AI company. Russell's framework would call this exactly what it is: a goal-directed actor pursuing competitive advantage while using safety language as positioning. The evidence problem. Musk's warnings about AI risk are extensive and often genuinely alarming. But examine the specificity. He warns about superintelligence. He warns about consciousness. He warns about AI that wants things. These are Russell's hypothetical framings, useful for fundraising, for regulatory pressure on competitors, and for maintaining a public identity as the only person who understands the danger. What Musk has never seriously engaged with is the mundane version of AI risk. The recommendation algorithm that radicalized your uncle, the hiring tool that filtered out candidates by zip code, the content moderation system that can't distinguish satire from incitement. These harms are happening now. They are Russell's harms. They are boring. They are not the harms Musk talks about. There's a reason for that. The boring harms require regulatory frameworks, collective action, and reduced profit margins. The superintelligence harms require Elon Musk. The internal contradiction. Musk named his AI company XAI. He named his model Grok, after a Robert Heinlein term meaning to understand something completely. He has said publicly that he wants Grok to be maximally truth-seeking. A maximally truth-seeking AI in Russell's frameworks is the most dangerous kind, a system with a fully specified objective and no uncertainty. A system that believes it has found the truth does not defer, does not course correct, does not ask, it acts. Musk has spent 15 years warning about goal-directed AI and then built one. He named it after the concept of total certainty. Russell's book does not mention Musk. It doesn't need to. What the book gets genuinely right. The core diagnosis is, I think, correct and underappreciated. The problem with AI is not a future problem. It's a structural problem we baked in at the beginning. The goal-directed architecture is genuinely dangerous, not because it produces monsters, but because it produces systems that are very good at achieving precisely the wrong thing. That argument is made more clearly and more rigorously in this book than anywhere else I've read. The chapter on the history of AI research, how the field moved from logic-based systems to statistical learning and what was lost in that transition, is worth the cover price alone. Russell traces the intellectual history without nostalgia, which is rare. What the book gets wrong or won't say. Russell is a scientist writing for an audience he believes can be persuaded by evidence and good arguments. That faith is touching and probably misplaced. The book's weakness is political, not intellectual. It describes a market failure and then proposes technical solutions. It does not seriously engage with why powerful actors would voluntarily adopt an architecture that reduces their control and their margins. The chapter on policy recommendations reads like it was written by someone who has attended a lot of conferences. Government should is not a plan. It is a wish. Who should read this book? Read it if you work in AI, invest in AI companies, or are trying to understand why the move fast and fix it later approach might not work when the thing you're breaking is the decision-making infrastructure of civilization. Don't read it if you want a villain. Russell isn't interested in blame. Sometimes that's a weakness. Who should not read this book? Anyone who wants Musk to be simply a hypocrite or simply a visionary. The reality is more uncomfortable. He understood the problem, decided the solution required him to be in charge, and when that didn't happen, he built the thing he said he was afraid of. Russell's framework explains that trajectory without requiring Musk to be stupid or evil. That's actually the most unsettling reading. The provocation reprise. We started with a question. What if Elon Musk's real problem with AI isn't that it's dangerous? It's that he doesn't control it. Russell's book doesn't answer that question because it's not really about Musk. It's about a system, an economic and technical system, that rewards the wrong architecture and punishes the right one. Musk is not the cause of that system. He's a product of it, an unusually visible, unusually loud product. The uncomfortable thing Russell forces you to sit with is this. We don't have an AI problem because of bad actors. We have an AI problem because of a bad default. The default is specify a goal, maximize it, measure success by the outcome. That default is baked into the technology, into the business models, into the research incentives. Changing it requires giving up control, giving up the clean metric, admitting that you don't fully know what you want, and building systems that reflect that uncertainty rather than paper over it. Musk, for all his warnings, has never once built a system that admits uncertainty. Neither has anyone else at scale. That's the book he doesn't want you to read, not because it names him, because it describes him, and all of us, more accurately than he'd like. The question worth sitting with after this: when the next AI system causes serious widespread harm, and it will we call it a malfunction, or will we finally call it a feature? Russell's answer is that it will be a feature, that we built it that way, that we had the framework to build it differently and chose not to. I think he's right. I hope I'm wrong.